Musk introduces the first passenger for the civilian lunar mission. Japanese billionaire Misaku Miyazawa, a former rock band drummer and the founder of the Japanese online retailer ZoZoTown.
The first paying customer of VFR.
Thank you, Elon. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I cannot speak English very well, so please listen carefully, please. Yeah.
Yusaku had actually bought an entire BFR spaceship. His contribution will partially fund the research and development of the spacecraft. Since he was a child, Yusaku has always been in awe of the moon, and he wanted to follow a dream. I think these days many people will look down on him for being rich, but this situation is much more nuanced. Yusaku is actually being very generous in this case. Quote, "I did not want to have such a fantastic experience by myself. That would be a little lonely. I don't like being alone, so I want to share these experiences and bring these things to as many people as possible. So that's why I choose to go to the moon with artists."
Dear Yusaku, I'm bugging anyway today, talking to the camera, but I'll use this opportunity to apply for your trip. I mean, I used to play in a rock band too. I've got background that way. Now I've written 12 books, but really, I'm kind of a failed artist right now. It would really help my career if you picked me in as one of your passengers. But I'm in a wheelchair, so it might be tricky. I could bring my wife if you want. She's a doctor. She might help out. We traveled all over the world. Well, we spent like 3 months on Africa and 3 months in Asia and 3 months in India. And all over the world. I also spent time in Europe and Japan. Like, Japan is quite a great place. I like the people there. So even if this job come about, I would send you another email. Or send another blog at least, so we can talk and I'll have someone to talk to. Because really, I'm in a wheelchair now. I'm not getting out much. But maybe when my youngest daughter graduates this June, and goes away to university, there'll be more resources for me to walk, and that'd be good.
This lunar mission isn't just some crazy idea from a company that has no experience in the space industry. SpaceX is routinely launching satellites and has already sent multiple tons of cargo to the International Space Station via their contract with NASA. And next year, the company is going to start manned missions to the space station.
Burn out. 150 meters per second. Slightly below nominal. Trunk deploy.
This isn't to mention the successful testing of the Falcon Heavy, the world's largest rocket at the moment.
Star boosters, landing legs are deployed.
It was no easy feat landing those rocket boosters vertically, and keep in mind, what you're seeing is larger than a 15-story building. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the proposal for this latest lunar mission. There's going to be 8 carefully selected passengers traveling on SpaceX's new BFR spaceship. The way these passengers were selected may be the most interesting part, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We've talked before about the BFR in previous episodes, but essentially it's a massive spacecraft suited for long-distance travel. It's 118 meters or 387 feet long and is capable of carrying 100 people. The interior is custom configured for each trip, with areas dedicated for cargo, emergency air and supplies, living quarters, and possibly zero-gravity entertainment. The mission will launch from Earth, do a loop around the Moon, and then possibly fly a little bit further into space to see both the Moon and Earth from a distance. After this, the crew will make its way back to Earth in a vertical landing procedure. The trip is set to last 5 days in total. The test schedule for the BFR and this trip will be as follows. There'll be a half-an-hour flight next year, and then a high-altitude, high-velocity flight in 2020, and then the first orbital test will be in 2021. There'll be plenty of test runs without passengers, but the actual first manned orbit around the Moon will be in 2023 if all goes well. The estimated cost of the BFR is around $5 to $10 billion. Now that may sound like a lot of money, but once you consider that the Apollo missions cost over $100 billion and that the BFR is reusable, it's only a fraction of the cost.
In truth, I'm not really that behind this project. I mean, if I had $1 billion, well, I almost do. But if I did, I'd be interested in putting a freshwater system all through Africa, so that not only drinking water, but irrigation water could be supplied so that people have food and water. That would be kind of cool. I mean, to do that, you have to have huge desalination on the coast, so salt water could be purified. And then it would have to be powered by solar. There's tons of sunlight over there. And so solar is very cheap right now. Like a penny a kilowatt is doable. And so a penny a kilowatt and desalinated water could be piped all through the continent. That would be a good way to spend $1 billion. Or maybe more. But so.